Warning. The following program contains adult language, adult themes, and spoilers. Viewer discretion is advised.
These days I've been barely holding on, climbing the walls every dusk till dawn.
Good evening and welcome to this month's episode of This Week's Episode. I am your host, Evan Goldstein. With me as always is the grumpy silver fox, Kris Randazzo. The super involved neighbor, Karen Randazzo.
You didn't kill a random douchebag. That's progress.
And the well-hydrated therapist, Angela Fernot.
That was normal.
We here on this week's episode talk television. It was my choice this week. I chose the show Shrinking, the first 2 episodes of that. But before we get into that, here's your weekly reminder that you can get in touch with us at mail@geekade.com. Tell us what we're doing right. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Suggest a show. Give us a break so that we don't have to choose what we are watching, because I know I'm looking at my Plex and pickings are getting kind of slim, so let us know what we should be talking about.
That's about to change in the next couple of weeks.
Son of a bitch. Well, we'll get into that when we start talking about what we've been watching, but I know this is a loaded question, but how we doing, guys?
Welcome to Thunderdome.
It's the end of the world as we know it.
For the 24 listeners that we have, we are in the United States. It is the 22nd. It is officially 2 days of hell. So we're just going to... I'm kind of hoping to skate past most of that because I've been heavily involved with it for past couple of days, removing people from social media and saying, I don't want to do this anymore.
I need to clarify something. I don't know if I've said it before on the podcast, but this is the first time in our 7.5 years together that Evan has gotten involved at all in politics.
Man, did I choose the right time? Woo!
Yeah. So this year,
job,
like
Evan.
going into the election, he was like, I'm going to start giving a shit. And I was like, oh, is now the right time? But you know what? Now is always the right time. So it's been kind of funny because now he's the one who's like on a rampage on social media, like unfriending you, calling you out, putting this link here. And like, I gotta say, honey, I'm kind of proud of you. I get a little scared because people get crazy, but I'm like, it's really cool because I know part of you argues for the sake of arguing because you hate when people are idiots, but the other part is because you genuinely care about people, and you're making that statement.
It's really weird because if someone knows me like tertiarily, they think I don't really care. Like I'm sort of like reserved and whatnot. But then when people start actively knowing me, I give lots of shits about things that I like that are important to me, and I'm watching what's going on. I'm like, no. And I'm very proud of myself that I have not throttled anyone physically yet.
Yeah.
So
Yet being
did
the
use the
key
word yet.
They did they are doubling. I mean, I thought specifically of you when I read about that. They're doubling down on like lots of government subsidies and pushing AI across as many platforms as they can.
Yeah, we can't talk about it too much because Evan might have a stroke. But
I get this weird thumping feeling in the right side of my neck. Is that normal? Is that a good thing?
I mean, it's not a good thing, but it is normal under these circumstances.
Yes, for sane people, when they hear things about the government pushing AI because of the Musks and the Bezoses and the whoever else hate creative people because they're not creative people.
Is that the plural of Bezos? Bezos?
Bezizos.
So anyway, we're going to not talk about all that because...
How about let's talk about the fact that
Television? Let's talk about television.
Hold on. What year was this? 7 years ago, I moved out of New Jersey because I hate snow. And as of right now, I could look out my North Carolinian window and see 2.5 inches of snow on the floor.
Idiot.
What the fuck?
That's what you get for moving into Jersey.
What?
Yeah.
Mother Nature was just like, oh, yeah? You think so?
Hold my beer. Watch this. I'm going to throw us that far down. And if so, to Northerners, hearing 2 inches of snow is not that big of a deal. It is official that as of tomorrow, Wilmington will have been shut down for 2.5 days.
Due to 2 inches of snow.
Due to 2 inches of snow. Yeah. Half a day on Tuesday, everybody freaked the fuck out and said, oh, can't do that. Wednesday,
French toast.
Everything was shut down today. And then tomorrow, everything's going to be shut down again because of today being off. People were stupid and drove on the snow and mushed it all up. And it's getting back down below freezing again. So it's just going to be black ice everywhere. And I don't know if you know this. I think we have one plow in Wilmington.
In the state?
Oh my God! The best thing about this was we went for a walk today, and this one guy had like what was the thing that he owned? It was like
a bobcat,
a little bobcat. So there was like one little corner of a block, like a half a block that was just plowed.
It wasn't even. It was probably because he went 20
around,
yards.
He went around the
20
corner
feet.
though.
Like it wasn't. It wasn't a driveway. It was just the end of a road.
I mean, it was fantastic. Like, when I tell you, we got to this one spot, and I was like, normal road?
This is super clean. Oh,
yeah. And then I was like, oh, it's that one guy who was like, hey, neighbors, I'm only going to do this part. Fuck you. It was great.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. How are you guys doing?
Well, when I left for work this morning, it was 11 degrees.
Awesome.
So that's fun. Because we don't get to stay home just because it snows.
No.
No.
I
gotta say one more thing. I gotta put a shout out to my job because I get paid snow days right now, and I have not had that ever.
They didn't know what to do, so they're like, your salary, just stay home, I guess?
They just follow the local community college, and like I asked in our meeting on Tuesday before the storm hit, like I was like, hey, like, we have a paid day off, and, like, I can work remotely. Am I required? And they're like, no. I was like, I'm not working. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
That is sweet.
Yeah. They're the best.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to you. I had to leave the house when it was 11 degrees to go into my office so I could be around 3 other people.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Almost nothing all day.
There you go.
Awful.
Oh, yeah, I bought exercise pants.
Ooh, well,
I saw the weather, and I only have shorts.
Oh,
and the last week or two, I'll get up at 5 a.m. and go out to my car, and I remember shoveling snow off my car. Just brushing a bunch of snow off my car in shorts, thinking to myself, I need to rethink my strategy. If I'm going to keep going to the gym early in the morning in the winter, I'm going to need some pants. So I bought some exercise pants, but they're very loud.
The stretchy ones on TikTok that make your butt look good? Those?
Wait, you bought stretchy pants and they're loud? I'm sorry, what?
I didn't buy stretchy pants. That's Evan. Evan's buying stretchy pants. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
It sounds like Chris just wants to, get his nuts in a twist.
Stretchy pants.
I didn't buy stretchy pants.
Okay, sorry.
There are no stretchy pants. It's not a thing that happened.
I don't know.
I went to Kohl's and I bought, I went to the fitness section and I got new shirts because the shirts that I had were all semi-tight on me, and they're extraordinarily unflattering because I'm an extraordinarily unflattering looking person. And I decided to get some slightly larger shirts that are super comfortable, but I think are somehow less flattering. Maybe it's just that the gym's covered in mirrors, and it's covered in mirrors and attractive people, but, whatever. But the pants...
Did you get the ones with the print on it that say, I'm ugly, look at me? No?
There's mirrors in front of things like treadmills and the elliptical, and it's just like, wow, I'm hideous. I'm sweaty. I have bad posture, jiggling all over the place here. I can see the back of my bald ass head. I'm the only one in here wearing a sweatband. This is fucking terrible. But
At least it's not the back of your balls, because that's what I really thought you were going to say for a second, and I didn't understand.
No.
What kind of gym is this?
Right? Well, there's
I don't know
mirrors
what kind
everywhere.
of gyms you're going to, but no.
I don't go to the gym. I work out at home because gym memberships are stupid and expensive. Also, I want one.
Mine's $40 a month, which is very acceptable to me. And
you said,
but
it's not a. Is it like a chain one or is it a local?
it's a local one.
Okay.
I think they have like 2 or 3 locations, but it's
Okay.
just local around
I
here.
mean, it's not like Planet Fitness or anything like that.
No, it's not Planet Fitness. It's called Wolf Fitness, and it's.
Did they make
there's-
you give
Woof.
them? Wait, did you have to give them your bank account information, or could you put it on a credit card?
I could put it on a credit card.
Okay.
In fact, I did put it on a credit card.
Okay, because
Yes.
that was Planet Fitness's gig. Like, you couldn't pay for it. This is back in the day. You couldn't pay for it with a credit card. They needed, like, it needed to be directly withdrawn from your bank account so that you could not stop the charges. How fucked up is that?
That's wild. Yeah, no, this is cancel anytime you want.
Cool.
Really, they're really kind of hands off. Almost to a fault, I'd say, but whatever. I kind of like that. There isn't anyone actually working there when I get there in the mornings. Like, people in the work, there's only attendance there during the day, but you can kind of go. I forget when it starts, like when you can actually unlock the doors with your little membership card
I think
thingy
it's like
in your phone.
4 a.m.
Yeah, you can start going stupid early.
Well, here's
So
the most
it's going to be
important.
interesting when daylight savings happens and I'm going to the gym in the daylight, because right
Ew.
now I go to the gym in the dark, and when I get back into my car after being in the gym, I'm so hot that I steam up all my windows. So I
What?
gotta like drive home with my windows open in the freezing cold, otherwise I can't see out in front of my car. Anyway,
So,
pants. So I
wait.
was at Kohl's and
Yeah.
I looked through the exercise pants, and I couldn't find exactly what I was looking for. But I wound up finding these black pants that were, they looked neat. I tried them on in the fitting room, and they were more or less comfortable. And then I got home, and I tried them on, and they were super loud. Like, they make that the fabric itself makes a lot of
Swishy noise?
noise.
They're
when you
swishy
move.
pants.
Wait, like from the 90s, 80s? Swishy pants?
Maybe. Not
When
entirely
you
sure.
said loud, I immediately thought like Weird Al loud.
Like
No. Like physically loud to walk around in.
Gotcha.
So, and they're fine. They do the job. They're hard to. I'm shaped like a fat tree trunk, so like pants. Like, I have no ass. It's a
We've had
genetic
this
issue,
conversation before,
and
yes.
so like it's real hard to tie pants onto me. Like, I'm pulling the drawstring as tight as I can. But like, as soon as
You
I
need
try to make the knot, it
suspenders.
pulls out just a tiny bit. So like when I'm doing anything at the gym, I, constantly stop my pants from falling down. It's a good time.
We can get you a pair of workout suspenders.
I think Chris needs gym suspenders.
Yeah, they make those.
Gym suspenders for the
do.
win.
So I'm just gonna go in there and just be the most embarrassing motherfucker on the planet.
Black socks to your knees, sandals, because we know you like sandals.
I do.
Wait, okay, but here's the most important question. How do you feel? Is it making a difference?
I feel different.
Oh, good.
I've
New
gotten
things
to the
hurt.
point where I think, oh God. Yeah. So I think I'm at the point where I feel better on the days that I do go than the days that I don't go.
Yeah.
So that's a step in the right direction. I have an injury in my lower back that has not gone away since October.
Awesome.
That I just don't think is. I think this is just the way I am now. So I'm trying to.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to deal with that. Some days it's fine. Some days I can't bend down. Like, I can't do a lot. I was doing ab workouts because that's a part of me that really needs exercise, and I have been able to do less and less of it because of this spot on my lower right side of my back that just. It's like being stabbed every time I try to bend down, which is totally awesome. It's not bothering me at all right now. So it kind
Outer
of comes
or
and
inner
goes.
back? Like by your spine or further out, like by the edge of your rib cage?
By my spine.
You may want to check with the doctor because that may be a disc thing.
Probably is. Who knows? Probably the doctor I don't have, but I will. It's on my list of things to do.
But don't worry about it. Pretty soon, no one will have health insurance, and it won't matter anymore.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Except rich people, which we're not. But yeah, it's right now my legs hurt a lot because I decided to use leg machines, and that was pretty fun. Like I've used leg machines a couple times before after using the elliptical or using the bike, but this time it was like those machines where you sit down in them, then you like squeeze your legs together or push them apart.
Adductor.
Yeah.
Whoo boy.
Yeah.
That was like the least graceful I've ever been in my entire life, was getting in and out of those machines. That was really, really a sight to see. I'm sure.
But I have to tell you, that's really good for balance, like overall balance in everyday life. And the more you do that, the better that's going to be for you in the long run. So, like, I'm proud of you. Just wanted you to know.
Thank you.
And I'm excited. And I like hearing you talk about gym stuff because I love talking about gym stuff.
My goal is to get to 5 days a week. I'm going 2 days a week now because I don't want to hurt myself. And I'm as much as I want to go more, I'm forcing myself to take it as slow as possible because, the goal is to try and make this last, make this just be a part of my life as long as I can do it going forward. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking maybe February or March, I can try to push it to 3 days and see how that works for me. But by Christmas time of next year, I want to be going 5 days a week. Nice. That is my goal.
Well, and don't forget, you can go more days and just go lighter so that you're able to still
recover faster.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm not there very long because I have to get home to get the kids to school. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'll get there probably about like 5:30 or shortly thereafter, and then like I gotta be back by 6:30 no matter what. So I go there and I usually do like 25 minutes of something cardio, and then 15-20 minutes of just whatever machines I can figure out how to use, because I figured out most of them, but there's still a lot of machines that I look at and say, like, I don't even know how you're supposed to attach to this. Like, I just cannot do the math on what this is supposed to do. And I've never seen anyone using them. Like, the people that are there when I'm there, they're almost always using the same ones. They're either doing like specific weights or on the treadmills or using these like 5 or 6 machines that I tend to go to. But these other ones are just like, I'm pretty sure this is just this is modern art. I don't even think this is actually an exercise machine. This is something that someone made as a prank. Like, I don't know what this is.
There's a camera constantly pointing at it to see people crawl into it, crawl out of it.
Big, like, green Riddler style question marks all over it. Like, what does it do?
Well, good on you.
But yeah, and then I sit in a sauna, which is something I never thought I would do because I don't like the heat. But it makes me feel a lot better afterwards.
Good schwitz. It's a good time to sit and do that.
Oh God.
The stuff on my watch that's like, you do your breathing and do your mindfulness app thing. So I'll sit in there and do mindfulness, and then I'll sit for 5 minutes and listen to music and do the mind and body exercise, which is super fun. It just counts as exercise, and it's called mind and body, and it makes it look like I'm, I don't know, transcending reality, the little stick figure thing on there. So I do that for a few minutes, and I sweat like crazy, and then my muscles are relaxed, and then I go home and start my day.
Wow.
Well, good on you, sir.
Thanks. It's fun, and I'm very proud of myself, and I'm hoping that by some point next year I won't be quite so floppity in the mirror, and I won't hate the way I look quite so much.
Sorry.
Are we also changing our diet, or we're going to pace that out and work on that later?
I did a lot of dietary changes last year, and really just kind of like some portion control. I don't snack. I I already don't drink soda. I have a glass of chocolate milk at night. I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink soda. I don't drink anything but water all day.
Okay.
And juice.
And
chocolate milk.
Juice at meals, water throughout the day, and then a chocolate milk at night. And that's pretty much it. There have been cookies around the house since Christmas. I'm still kind of weaning myself off the Christmas situation here. But by the end of this month, I'll be back to no snacks and, somewhat reasonable meals. I'm not that concerned with the fat as much as I, am concerned with the general shape of me. I like food, and I think
Understand.
I've gotten myself to a decent place where I'm not eating like a complete slob. Except on taco nights. There's really nothing I can do about that.
It's like a holiday, understandably so.
Taco nights aren't that often, so when we have tacos, I just eat myself stupid. But other than that, just kind of keeping what I eat relatively in check, just not to eat too much, and just kind of be okay with that.
Well, good.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
It's cool shit.
All right. Karen, you got anything, or do you want to just start moving over to television talk?
It's cold. That's all I got.
It's cold and there are wolves after.
All right. So what do we got going on for television? Who's gonna start this ball rolling? Okay,
I'll go.
good talk.
I can go. I can get that out of the way.
Go ahead.
Because I'm sure nobody's interested in what I've been watching. I've been rewatching Shoresy again because it's coming back on Friday. So I just kind of took any excuse I could to watch Shoresy again because I really fucking love that show.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to talk about. I rewatched Trigun in its entirety. Cool. I hadn't rewatched this show in quite some time, and it was very fun to revisit this show. I used to watch it over and over again. I had the DVD sets, and I used to play them all the time when I worked at Game Crazy and such. It was on Adult Swim back in the day, so it really just reminded me. As I remember the commercials for this show that used to run on Adult Swim, and every time a line from those commercials showed up in the show, I would think about those commercials that I would always see on Adult Swim. It was such a nostalgic trip to run back to that point in my life where I was
carefree.
Yeah, relatively carefree. I was working retail and still living with my parents. It's like there was a point in time where I was living with a bunch of friends, and then there was a time when I started saving up money, so I moved back in with my parents for a couple of months just to save up so that we could move out to New York. And it reminded me a lot of that and the feeling of being there in life, and just the general joy of watching random anime episodes at like 1:00 in the morning because that was life back then. And Trigun's a wonderful show. I've never actually watched the Japanese voiceovers because I really like the English ones, and I know that's like sacrilege to a lot of folks, but this is how I was introduced to the show, and that and Cowboy Bebop were just like, yeah, but the English dub's really good. I think it's acted extraordinarily well, and I think it's a really fun show, and now that I've finished the rewatch, I'm finally watching the other Trigun stuff that's out there in the world that I never watched. Like, I'm maybe about a half an hour into Trigun Badlands Rumble, which is a movie they made, which has some of the original English voice cast, and then there's some other like reimagined reboot of it.
That was a Netflix one, right?
Was that on Netflix? I don't know where it actually aired originally, but you got it for me. I haven't started it yet, but
it's not Stampede is what you're talking about, right? That's
Trigun Stampede. Yeah,
it's not. I don't know what it is. Like when you asked for it, I got it, and then I looked at it, and it just looks stereotypical computer generated anime. And
it has a very weird look to it that Vash has been redesigned. It's not in continuity with the original series at all. It's like kind of a reimagining of it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's interesting, but I haven't watched any of it yet. I looked at like a minute of it just to see what it looked like and to hear what the voices were like, and that was about it. But I'm nowhere into that one yet. But just Vash the Stampede is such a great character. He's one of my favorite fictional characters. I love the entire trajectory of the show where it starts out super goofy, and then it takes this like 90-degree turn about halfway through. And it's so effective because of how lighthearted it was up till that point. Because like there's all these hints going on for the first chunk of the series about like something's going on. There's definitely more to this character than this. And then when they force him to be that version of the character, it's so effective because you've come to like appreciate just how carefree he wants to be and how nice and kind he is. And then just God, by the end of the show there's some really heart-wrenching moments in it, which were really fun to watch again. I don't know if fun's the right word, but just nice to see again. It was a really well done show. It does this great thing where it doesn't explain itself when it doesn't have to. Mm-hmm. Like, you never get the full story. You never get like the detailed history of exactly what he and his brother are or anything. You don't really get the entire story of why people left Earth and stuff. You don't get every single detail because you don't need it. They give you exactly enough to tell the story that they want to tell, elicit the emotions that they're trying to elicit, and that's the end of it. They don't over-explain it to you, and I like that. I like there being mystery and things open to interpretation. And it's just been a wonderful time.
Awesome. When you asked for it, and I had gotten the older one and the newer one for you, just seeing the wide difference between the anime style or the animation styles was interesting, because usually it's not, they may reimagine it, but it's usually not that different. Like when they redid Cowboy Bebop, even in live action, they were striving to make it look like the cartoon kind of thing.
Yeah. This was like just a straight up redesigning of Ash's character. Like, he still wears red, he's still got yellow glasses, but his hair is totally different. Like, and that was one of his defining traits, was his hair. That was one of the jokes they kept making throughout the whole show. People calling him Needle Noggin or Broomhead, and that was part of what made people confused him with other people, thinking other outlaws were Vash the Stampede because they had pointy hair, or like somebody had a mohawk or something. It was, the vague descriptions that you would get of him, and I'm curious what it's actually like, because you
have to let us know.
We'll see.
All right. Who's next?
I could go. I'll keep it short and sweet. I know Karen mentioned a little bit about Queer Eye last time, and I watched it. I watched the new season. Yeah, I was very excited to watch something that made me feel good.
What'd you think of Jeremiah?
I adore him. When you mentioned the whole thing with him being like, is it like this every time? Like, as soon as that happened, that was like the first episode of the season, and I was like, oh, honey.
So the interior designer who's constantly crying every time I walk through the room.
He's so wholesome.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I really appreciated him, and I think of all of the cast of characters, I genuinely feel like this is an authentic experience for him. Like, he's not yet jaded by, like, because he's famous. Like, he's got his own, like, design shit and whatever, but, like, I don't feel like he's, like, jaded by this experience of being on Queer Eye and having this type of fame. I think that the others, sometimes, like, I'm just not sure what version of them we're getting, if it's, like, anything real. But the way he shows up in the show, it feels very authentic, and I think it's great. And I think his design is beautiful, and I love his functionality and the things that he strived to create for everybody. It was really great. I used to think that, like, JVM was, like, really kind of annoying, and I don't know what happened, but on this season, they just, like... They were kind of a queen. Like, I really enjoyed a lot of the scenes that they were in this time, because I felt like they were finally just owning, like, yeah, I'm kind of a bitch and I'm here for it, but also I'm going to cheer harder for you than anyone else in the room. And I just liked that. I really appreciated that. So yeah, I think that it was just a great time to be able to watch this show, especially because I'm working my way through other shows like Evil, which is the complete opposite of that in probably every way. But I promised a friend that I would finish the series, and even though it's not really, it's just not holding me that much. It's not bad. It's just not super interesting. I think I'm in a place right now where, like, the dark and gloomy stuff is just not as appealing as it usually is. Can't imagine why. So this was really wonderful. And one thing that I'm learning is that some of the recipes that Anthony does, like, I actually want to look these up online. because like there was one in particular, he did like a meatloaf recipe, and I was like, well, how does this compare to what I do? And there's another recipe that he did, and I was like, this seems manageable. Like, I think I could do some of this. And I know that like that's the point, right? He's teaching people to make these meals, but I, like, even when we're just getting like the cut version where it's edited down, I was like, wow, this is intriguing, and I want to know how to do this. So it was fun. It's just feel good, and that there's really nothing beyond that other than I like seeing people be celebrated and made to feel good about themselves, and hopefully spread that good to others.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yay, queer joy.
Yeah.
All right, Karen, what do you got?
So I watched all 3 seasons of a show called Derry Girls. Not dairy like a cow, but Derry as in a town in Ireland.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is a sitcom that came out on Netflix in 2020, in co-production with, I think, BBC. And it's like 3 short seasons, like 3 6-episode seasons of half-hour shows, but it's about these teenagers that live in Derry in Ireland in the late 90s. This show hit me so hard in the feels. Not that I lived in Ireland, but I was exactly the ages that these kids are at the exact time that they were. So while like everything that was happening in Ireland at that time, not necessarily relatable to me, but their clothes, the music, everything they talked about, I was like, oh my God, like this is my exact life. It's pretty intense for anyone who's in their mid 40s to watch this show. You're gonna get hit a lot. So like mostly it's about the girls, and there's a funny one and a slutty one and a smart one, and the one is like main character energy is like the best way I can describe her. Like she just thinks she's like everything is about her. And it's mostly about their lives and what's going on, but kind of in the background weaved into it is there was like a conflict between Northern Ireland and Ireland going on. I mean, it had been going on since the 60s, but it came to a head in the late 90s, and eventually they signed a peace agreement in 1998 to decide to end the fighting and come to some sort of whatever. But everybody who was of voting age in Ireland had to vote whether on this agreement on whether or not to like be a part of it, and it passed overwhelmingly. Like 70% of the people voted for it or something like that. But this was something that like happened in my lifetime that I had absolutely no friggin' idea about. Like, because you're not paying attention to world politics and you're 17 years old.
No, absolutely not. Gross.
So that was really interesting to learn about that history and what it was like for people at that time, and how it affected their lives and what it was all about. A lot of it was like to do with being Catholic or Protestant. And I'm sure I'm boiling it down like very unfairly into overly simplified terms, but yeah, so it was super interesting. There's a lot of cranberries. It's very heavy on the cranberries in the soundtrack, as you would expect. But the characters are really lovable. They all show some growth. Nice things happen. It has one of the characters. I resisted watching this for a while because one of the characters is played by Nicola Coughlan, who's Penelope in Bridgerton.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the dumbest reason, but the like banner image for this show when you go to Netflix is like a picture of her that looks like she's about to sneeze, and it just gave
she looks
me
much older than 16 in that image.
And she looks like, I don't know, it just made me feel like that's the kind of humor it is, that it was like much more rude humor or something like that, which it isn't at all. And it was a dumb reason for me to not watch the show for so long, but I'd heard good things, so I would highly recommend it. It's heartwarming, it's sweet, it's funny, it's very good. The only thing I would say is if you have trouble with accents, if you're the type of person who can't hear without their subtitles on, put your subtitles on, because some of the characters' accents are like extremely thick, and you do pick up some of the like the slang that they use in Ireland that like you're like, what the hell are they talking about?
So it's not playing to an American audience; it's playing to an Irish audience.
Oh yeah,
it is definitely playing to an Irish/British audience.
Gotcha.
So yeah, for sure, because it was co-produced by BBC. It makes sense.
Right.
But yeah,
I like it.
good show. I liked it. It's a quick watch too, like I said. So.
Awesome. All right, well, I will wrap this up. I'm going to talk real quick about two things, because one of which I was very disappointed in. I came across a show called Going Dutch, or Dutch. Like, I don't... It's no Going Dutch, and it stars Dennis Leary, Danny Pudi, and a couple of other people. And I'm like, oh, man, I haven't seen Dennis Leary in a while. And
that's new, right? Didn't that just start?
Yeah, it's like 2 episodes, and I was so violently disappointed in this show.
It did not look good.
No, it did not.
He's like a military guy, and you know, it's one of those situational comedies, but like, I want Dennis Leary to be able to be Dennis Leary, and they're not letting him be real Dennis Leary. They're making him be in touch with feelings halfway through the episode, Dennis Leary. And I'm like, this is not playing, and it's not funny to me. And so I made it through 1.5 episodes. So I may let it sit for a minute or two, but I was not impressed at all. On the other hand, I watched the entire season of Creature Commandos, and that shit was amazeballs. I've always believed that DC does not know how to do movies, but sure as shit do they know how to do cartoons. And their animated universe is, even before Gunn took over, was some of the best cartoons out there, and Creature Commandos is fantastic. The group of monsters being led by the military to do the things that regular humans are not allowed to do. So this ties into the new DC movie universe, so all of this is in continuity. It ties into a bunch of previous stuff that makes it continuity, so it's tying up a lot of threads to make this new Gun universe run a little bit smoother.
Is it in the same universe as Harley?
No. Okay. That's the HBO universe, which is just, I think right as of this moment, just Harley and Kite Man, is not. But we still do get Alan Tudyk in this show. He plays Dr. Phosphorus. And if I'm not mistaken, he also played Clayface in this show too, but it was a very different Clayface. It was not Harlequin Clayface. It was like comic book accurate Clayface. Very rough. But there's an overrun through story about them going first to this place to protect the royal family, and they do that thing, something goes wrong, and then they have to go back to kill said royal family. There's infighting between the two because like the lead ends up sleeping with the princess, and it's just a lot of entertaining mishaps. But every episode, whilst that through story is going, you get backstory on each of the characters. And we have the bride, which is the Bride of Frankenstein. We have Dr. Phosphorus. We have G.I. Robot, Rick Flag, and Nina. Nina is if I'm not mistaken, like a fish character.
Kind of like an Abe Sapien?
Like it's, in essence, a female Abe Sapien. Rick Flag is the father of Flag from Suicide Squad, who died, and Rick Flag is now running the team. Frankenstein is in the background. He's voiced by David Harbour because he's in the tertiary story because he's trying to get to the bride because he loves her and she does not love him. She really doesn't love him, and he is he is infatuated with her. It's great storytelling. It's a lot of fun, and it's not, even though it is horribly violent, it's not dark. It's not that Zack Snyder DC universe.
And Peacemaker was really violent, but it wasn't really dark.
Exactly, and it's Peacemaker. It is, was the Suicide Squad done better? Suicide Squad just fell over itself a little bit, the movies. But then when you hit Peacemaker, the show, that storytelling style found its footing, and it's all Gunn. It's James Gunn. That's the reason why this stuff is as good as it is. So it's just a really, there were no misses in the episodes either. Usually there's no fillers yet that I've come across, and the season's over, because we are being introduced to the team right out the gate. They go on a mission goes sideways, and then the next episodes are a little bit more of mission and one character's backstory. The next episode, a little bit more mission, another character's backstory. And Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus is great. He's a on fire skeleton constantly. He's constantly on fire, and his ongoing joke is, it looks like I'm smiling, but I'm not. The bride, Indra Varma, one of the best character designs I've seen in a long time, and she is a badass. Sean Gunn voices Weasel, who was from Suicide Squad. The live action, that character shows up as a cartoon in this one, and that was played by Sean Gunn in the movie. He's voiced in the cartoon. Sean Gunn also plays G.I. Robot, who is designed to kill Nazis. That's what he does. Can we go kill Nazis now? And it's weird because it sort of looks like Iron Giant, like a smaller version of Iron Giant, but this fucker kills everything in its path. All the Nazis die that show up on screen. He does his job very well. And Nina is the Abe Sapien character. There's really not much to her character. She's very innocent, and she's very good at swimming. So she's put on the team for their underwater missions kind of thing. Really doesn't work out. But the character development is so strong, and then on top of that, the team development supports it. So it's great. It's a lot of fun, very well done. Storytelling's great, and it's giving me hope for what DC is doing with their cinematic universe. So more James Gunn, more gooder. That's what I'm saying. And yet again, the through line for just about all of this stuff is Amanda Waller, voiced by Viola Davis.
Still? Wow.
Still perfect. And the visuals are the same. They're just doing it right. So great stuff. Highly, highly recommend it. So.
Yeah, I gotta say, when I poked into the room while you were watching, it was definitely getting my attention.
Yeah, it's the artwork is visually well done. It's slightly stylized, but it's not over the top, or it's just very well done, which is it's par for the course when it comes to DC animated stuff. So yeah, all right, that's all I got. I think we're just going to wrap up this half so we can get to the second half. And,
oh my God, yes.
Yeah, when we get back from our break, we're going to talk about shrinking. So there you go. Stay tuned.
Hi, everyone. Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast.
When you hear the words cross-stitch, you probably think of a grandma lovingly making a Christmas stocking, a picture of a lighthouse, or maybe a Bible verse with flowers. But that's not what we do at Shoot the Moon Stitches. We take the old-fashioned art of cross-stitch and pair it with contemporary themes and imagery to create striking works of art that make the perfect gift for anyone who grew up with the internet and has a wicked sense of humor and an appreciation for pop culture. From cult favorite TV shows and movies, to retro video games, to TikTok trends. If it's made you smile, chances are we've stitched it. You can shop our selection of art and gifts by going to Etsy.com and searching Shoot the Moon Stitches. For all your fun, feminist, fandom fiber art needs, visit Shoot the Moon Stitches.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
And we're back. Thank you so much for checking out our commercials. Time to dive into the feature topic. This week was my week. I chose Shrinking, Season 1, Episode 1 and 2. This is an Apple TV joint. It is created by Brett Goldstein, Bill Lawrence, and Jason Segel.
No family relations.
None, but had some bona fides right there for creation. The show's about a grieving therapist that starts to tell his clients exactly what he thinks. Ignoring his training and ethics, he finds himself making huge changes to people's lives, including his own. The show stars Jason Segel as the lead, Jimmy, also starring Harrison Ford.
No big deal.
As the curmudgeon.
Harrison Ford.
Jessica Williams as Gabby. I mean,
Oh shit, that's who that is.
Yeah.
God,
And
I love her.
I'm going to also throw out there Kristen Miller as Liz.
Yeah.
So,
Which is how you know it's a Bill Lawrence joint.
exactly. You can't have a Bill Lawrence joint without Kristen Miller.
She wasn't in Ted Lasso, was she?
No. But I don't know. I think Bill Lawrence is the showrunner on this one. So I don't know. But you are absolutely correct. That is true. He was involved with Ted Lasso as well.
He was one of the main developers on Ted Lasso.
So I guess maybe we'll say there's allegedly another season of that, and maybe she'll show up traveling to England.
Wait, Ted Lasso got another season?
So there's rumors about it, that they may change like the set cast. So, like, maybe Ted's not it. We don't know yet officially, but there's lots of rumors. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
Anyway.
Anywho, so I love Jason Segel. I find him very, very entertaining. Very, very, like, he's adorable to me. I didn't think about watching this show at all because I thought it was a different therapist show. There was one with Will Ferrell and Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd.
And I was like, I got them confused because I watched the trailer for that one a while ago, and I'm like, I'm not interested in this. This doesn't look entertaining to me. And then over the holidays, my brother came down, and he's like, the show is amazing. You have to watch it. So we did. And I sat and I watched the first season by myself. And I devoured it. Then I stopped, and then I made Angela watch it. And,
made is a strong word.
Well, that was the thing. Like I said, I'm not going to watch season 2 until you catch up because I know you're going to feel some things about this show. And we powered through. Like we rewatched. I rewatched season 1, and she originally watched season 1 fast. I want you to know that I chose both the first 2 episodes to watch to be an introduction for the show because the first episode gives us a touchstone for the main characters. Jimmy being the widower who has lost his wife year before, and he is now just dealing with grief.
Dealing is a strong word.
Yeah, his daughter Alice is dealing with grief in a different way, and he's not being the proper father. Liz is stepping in as the neighbor to support or make sure that Alice pretty much stays alive, and she's taken care of and emotionally supported because Jimmy ain't doing that. The second, and we get touched on a few of his like work situations and all of that, but the second episode rounds out. We get introduced to just about the whole cast, and that's what I wanted you guys to see. I wanted you to get a touch on everything that's going to happen in this show, including all of his patients and the relationship between Jimmy and Paul being Harrison Ford, the father figure to everybody and the lead therapist in this practice. You get a little more interaction with Gabby, who is his coworker, and you will find out later on that Gabby was his wife's best friend. That's why they have a relationship. And that pretty much sums it up. I want to know what you guys thought about it. So, Chris, Karen, take it away.
Good talk.
Yeah, I always love when we both look at each other like, you go, I go, to me, to you, to me, to you. I thought it was great. It's very recognizable as a Bill Lawrence joint. All the cast was great. I really enjoyed, I don't know. I'm in therapy. Lots of people are in therapy, so I have a familiarity, relatability to this therapy process from the other side. So some of watching the therapy and watching him sit there and have just had it up to here with people who talk about the same things all the time and never change anything, I'm like, oh, that's probably what my therapist thinks of me. So that was slightly uncomfortable. But I did enjoy the way, you're rooting for Jimmy. You want things to get better for him. You want this, change in his practice to work out for him. And it seems like it's starting to. And then I really enjoyed the way all of the things that he tried to do differently in his life all came to a head at the same point in time at the soccer game. It was like, oh no, he shouldn't have done that or that or that. All at once.
All the boxes that he had checked just punched him in the face repeatedly over and over again.
And now he's inviting the guy to stay in his house without even talking to his daughter about it. I'm like, oh, this is a soccer game all over again.
So,
but
and
yeah.
that's the thing that I liked about. Okay, so I was worried telling you guys to watch the show because I was not familiar with your current relationship with therapy. I didn't know if you guys were in therapy, if you had been in therapy and all this. And this, even though it does a great representation of therapy from, I think, from both sides as the episodes continue, but having a window from the therapist side going, man, you know what? That's probably true. Like at some point in time, I'm sure my therapist wants to lean over the counter and just strangle me. And then you have the Harrison Ford character, the Paul, going, you're going to fuck up my practice. You need to, you need to get your shit in order. Like, so I'm glad you were uncomfortable, but it didn't stop you. Like it didn't say, oh no, this is not, I can't deal with this kind of thing. So go on.
No, I think, I don't know, Chris and I both sort of looked at each other after getting through the second one and we're like, yeah, this is good. We'd keep watching this.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Chris? Anything to add?
Yeah, look, I mean, you know me, I'm always a big fan of Scrubs, and Ted Lasso is probably one of my favorite TV shows that's ever existed. I even enjoy the heck out of Cougar Town for as freaking bizarre as that show was. I like Bill Lawrence's stuff. What's that?
Penny can.
No, Penny can.
I still say.
I really like Bill Lawrence shows, and I didn't realize that's what this was when we started watching it. But within like 2 minutes, it was just like 100% in. The music choices were great. It was Vampire Weekend and stuff. Like it was. Yeah, 150,000% into this one. I really enjoyed the time with it. I think Harrison Ford is great, just as being grumpy old Harrison Ford. I think Jason Segel looks like hell, and he's doing a good job of that. It seems it's a very specific looks like hell, Mm-hmm. I think his daughter is really interesting. I think I like that she has this relationship with Harrison Ford's character that his dad doesn't know about.
So I'm gonna tease that out. I call that relationship therapy for Candy because he's helping her, but he's not charging her, and it turns out, and it's not like a linchpin kind of thing in the story. Like he just asks her to bring him candy, and every episode it's a different candy. It's like this one was ice cream, so it was a sweet.
There's a great episode with Fun Dip, by the way.
Thanks.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I just finished rewatching Ted Lasso recently, which is what led me to rewatching Shoresy the first time a couple of months ago. I think this was like a third rewatch. So now I'm on my fourth rewatch of Shoresy. God, I love that show. But Ted Lasso is outstanding. And Bill Lawrence, as I learned from watching Scrubs, his shows have this marvelous way of weaving music in at just the right moments. They do a very, very good job of that. And the show thus far is no different. I'm utterly fascinated to know that he has a second show on TV right now too, called Bad Monkey.
Yeah, so that's what's this guy? The guy who plays the same character in every fucking thing that he does.
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, it's Vince Vaughn being Vince Vaughn, and he's I want to say a private detective.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before, but I was looking at Bill Lawrence just to see if there was any credit for what's her name in Ted Lasso anywhere. And right at the top, on his IMDb page, is 3 shows as showrunner. It's Ted Lasso, Shrinking, and Bad Monkey as showrunner. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? So this show has only aired for 10 episodes. It's also on Apple TV.
Yeah, the first series.
If that show's any good. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to watch the heck out of Shrinking. That's great. I'll happily keep that train going. No, thank you for bringing this one to my attention. It had been on my list for a little while, but I think if I had realized it was a Bill Lawrence show, I probably would have pushed to watch it sooner. It's nice to have something to fill that Ted Lasso hole. Just because, like, I had rewatched. I moved to Shoresy after Ted Lasso because it gets to a lot of the same places Ted Lasso does, just from a really different road. Like, Shoresy, a very different show, but it does hit a lot of those same kind of emotional notes from time to time, which is interesting to say about a show like Shoresy. But
it's true, though. It's true.
Give your balls a tug.
Give your balls a tug.
Oh God, I love that show. I love that show to pieces. I'm so excited that it's coming back, because I can't wait to find out what's happening next. But yeah, this is definitely scratching an itch for me, of TV that, even though things aren't necessarily always good, it makes you feel good, and that's
and it's weird. I want to call it feel good television, but that doesn't do it justice, because there's some really heavy topics that, like, we just touch upon in the first 2 episodes, like Harrison Ford is sick, like he's
got Parkinson's.
He's got Parkinson's. Like, so the show is going to deal with that. Krista Miller's character Liz is dealing with empty nest syndrome. It's just touched upon. We're going to deal with that. Alice's loss of her mother. We're going to like. There's so much heaviness in this, but it does not feel overwhelmingly heavy.
Similar to Ted Lasso.
Yeah. They touch on a lot of really challenging subjects, and they do it so well. Again, we know why. Obviously, it's because of who's working on the show. But I have to say, I'm really glad you guys like the show. Especially because, for me, as a person who like loves therapy and has been trying to force it onto my husband since the day I met him, this is the kind of thing that when you watch it, it just, I guess to me, like, it's bringing in a lot of the elements of why therapy is great and why it helps people without beating them over the head like I do to Evan. Sorry again. And I think that it also, again, it takes things like just humanity and relationships and makes them so approachable and relatable. Even if you've never lost a spouse, I feel like you can still relate to so many of the human elements in the show, right? Like, and it's so well done.
It made me want to drink more water too.
Oh my God, I love her water bottles.
I am one dewy bitch. I'm just letting you know that.
Sounds like a pretty solid idea. I should drink that much water in a day.
So
I would do anything she tells me to do, honestly.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I've never been in therapy. I would like to be. It actually came down to what can we afford, and
awesome.
The gym is less expensive than therapy, so the gym is the closest I have to therapy right now. So I'm fixing myself physically and hoping that I can piece my shit together mentally. It is I have nothing but respect for therapy. I definitely think I should be in it. I think everybody should be in therapy, but well, here we are. Just kind of wanted to say that. I didn't want anybody to think that I am anti-therapy or anything. Like, no, I think it's important, and I think it should be affordable for everyone to be in therapy. But
that's the important part. Like, that's the thing. Like, I would love to be in therapy, and I've told that to my wife. The fact of the matter is, the cost of it makes me need to go to therapy. Like, that's a problem. Like, I get so anxious about how expensive it is that would just undermine the going to therapy. But moving past that, I want to apologize to you guys because I only told you to watch the first 2 episodes. I did not think about it ahead of schedule, but I did not give you guys the proper introduction to the best character on the show, which is Derek, played by Ted McKinley.
Oh, yay!
At the end of this 2 seasons, I would watch a Derek show. Okay.
Hey, maybe you'll get it. We got a Shoresy spinoff, crying out loud.
I'm willing to bet we would get like the best friend before Derek, because Derek needs the ensemble. But He is literally my favorite part of the show.
I was going to mention him, and I thought I was going to blow Chris's mind because, like, watching the show, I was like, that guy looks so familiar, but I can't tell who he is. And just now, I'm looking at the IMDb going, holy shit, it's
he's the
Ted
neighbor
McGinley,
from-
show killer Ted McGinley.
Oh, wait a sec. I was thinking of John C. McGinley.
No,
I recognized Ted McGinley right away.
Yeah.
I did not.
His character?
All right. I recognized his voice right away. I'll put it that way. It took me a minute to kind of piece him together, but Married with Children was so ingrained in my household growing up. I will never not
He's the
recognize
neighbor.
that man's voice.
That's who he is.
He was like the second husband neighbor.
Guys, I had no fucking idea who he was. I didn't care. I just loved Derek, the character, and now I love him even more for that.
It's just walking the dog out in London.
Hey, Jimmy, thought I was done raising kids. Want to thank you for that.
See, now I'm disappointed. I thought John C. McGinley was going to show.
No, sorry.
No, but there's another character
and
that shows up, and you'll be very grateful. You'll enjoy it. I can't tell you who. But he's here. He's there.
He's every fucking where.
Yeah.
Don't scroll too far on that page you're looking at because I scrolled pretty far down on the cast and I'm seeing some like Bill Lawrence universe Easter eggs that I'm like, cool.
I just saw that within I'm assuming the first two seasons that Zach Braff directed a couple of the episodes, and I was like, oh, that's nice. Good for him. He's a director now.
Good for him.
I think I would have preferred discovering that those people were in the show.
I didn't see nothing. I was just looking.
Organically.
I'm looking for what John C. McGinley's been up to. And,
Doing John C. McKinley deep dive.
Quite frankly, so am I, because I like. Oh my god. Okay, that was him. Okay, I had to see
love
him.
Dr. Cox, he's freaking love that character.
I have been setting with the current political climate that's been going on. I have the link for wrong. I have that on my notes so that I could just copy and send that because there is no GIF for that. I have to send them the YouTube
You can make
video.
one. Do it.
No, you need the audio.
Oh, fair.
You need the audio.
Yeah, audio gifts.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Followed up by the opera singing mistake.
I
Two of
just
the best things
did
out
that the other
of
night.
Clerks, out of Scrubs.
Someday our kids are going to see this show and be like, oh, that's that thing Dad always does. I have to say a little bit about the best friend. I really enjoyed Brian, and I was like, I know this guy too. Where do I know him from? I know him from a 3 or 4-year-old holiday movie called Single All the Way.
Oh my god,
Jesus.
stop.
I'm not normally like a Hallmark movie, Christmas movie type of chick. But this was recommended to me by a friend of mine. It is I think the first male gay romance holiday movie.
Mm.
And the Michael Urie who plays Brian is the main character in this movie, and it's a really cute movie. So
he's a great
Sorry,
character
no,
in the show too. Like Brian is a lot of fun. He is in essence the wild card of the cast because you're pretty sure you know what he's going to say, and it's just a surprising way that he delivers it. Like when he bursts into the therapy session. He apologizes, but threatens him, but says, it's a lot of that because he is that.
I'm paying for this session, not for you, but for you. I'll get your Venmo.
I'll get your Venmo. I'm not paying you.
Yes, I think he might. I mean, I've only seen the 2 episodes, but he might be my favorite. Also, I just fucking love Jessica Williams.
Oh my god, yes.
So behind the scenes with like information I've acquired because I really like this show, Jessica Williams and Jason Segel play so well together, like because a lot of the stuff they do is ad-libbed. because they are so good at improv. And you can see there are points in time, like, I don't know if it happened too much in the first 2 episodes, but like Gabby's character will get a little too far, and like if Paul wasn't in the room, it will a little further. But due to the fact Harrison Ford's there, she sort of reins herself in. But when it's just her and Jason Segel, it's phenomenal. It's fireworks.
She just gets better. Like, I can't wait for you to see where her I don't want to say anything. There's really
her character growth her character arc is fantastic.
The character arcs in general, the way that characters relate to one another, the way that they connect to one another, like where the show goes, it's fucking amazing. I think one of the things that this, and I guess like Ted Lasso and other shows like this have in common is like the sense of community that this show can build. And oh my God, I love her. But yeah, I will say, I also love the whole cast, for a multitude of reasons. The best friend, Brian, is just, I have to say, like,
everything goes my way.
The majority of Evan's laugh out loud moments or haha like reaction moments either come from Brian or Derek. Like, that was it. Like, he laughs a lot at the show, but his guffaws come from like Brian for sure and Derek.
Yeah, there's a couple of scenes where he has to tell a story. And I want to say it happens over 2 or 3 episodes, and it's about him meeting someone, and then he's like, okay, I've been preparing for this. And then he just rattles off, and it's a long story. It's an involved story, but he does the same exact story like 3 or 4 times over 3 or 4 different episodes with the same exact delivery, and there will be like a person in the room that will go like, okay, wrap this up. You don't have to do it exactly the same every time. He is phenomenal.
Yeah, like he's got a script for the story he's got to tell, and like
it's just in his brain.
My God, it's fantastic.
Everything goes my way. You wouldn't let me grieve. Well, I didn't say everything goes in your way.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God,
that shit was hysterical.
I was like, that's a true friend.
And like, that's the thing. Like the cast, like they work so well together.
The chemistry is great in this cast.
And what's wild is, so like when you're watching a show, all right, so we'll take Scrubs, for instance. The chemistry between JD and Turk was phenomenal. Between Turk and blonde chick or whatever, the Elliot was okay, but there was definitely a better chemistry between JD and, like, it varied between cast member to cast member. Everybody works well together in every. It's like there's no one team better than the other, and every character in the show gets to play a story beat with every other character. Like, I don't think anybody gets left out. Like, at one point in time, there's this great thing with, Gabby and Paul and, them driving to work together. Like,
yeah, don't say anymore.
We're fine. But, like, that chemistry is just as strong as hers and Jimmy's. It's just different. But everybody, it's a great ensemble. It's fantastically done. So, oh, good. I'm so glad you guys like this show. I was kind of worried.
And after going through that first watch through, and then going back tonight to watch the episodes and be fresh.
We just finished watching this not too long ago, and I was laughing again.
Yeah, it's still I guess there was some stuff I just had not fully retained in my memory. So as we were watching it, I was laughing and being like, "Oh my God, I missed that the first time." So the rewatch value is really high for me on this show, which is unusual. Usually I'll just do it out of a sense of nostalgia or honestly boredom for a lot of shows, and this one I love it. I love it so much.
So I'm 97% sure there's going to be a season 3. Yes, there will be a season 3. Every episode feels like it makes you want to start the next one. So be mindful of that as you're watching it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is one of those that is easily all right, just one more episode. All right, just one more. It's 2:00 in the morning. Just one more episode kind of show. So, all right, good. Whew.
I'm so glad you guys
I'm so
liked
glad.
it.
Like, I loved this show so much. I really wanted you guys to like it. So,
Well, I don't like it. I love it.
hate this show. So, all right. Well, unless anybody's got anything else, Chris, I'm going to ask you for the spiel.
This week's episode is not filmed before a live studio audience, but it is fueled by feedback from listeners like you, and you can get in touch with us in a multitude of ways. We have an official Geekade Discord, where there's an entire This Week's Episode channel dedicated to all things TV talk, and of course, the regular Geekade social media accounts linked to in the show notes. The four of us can be found in various ways. You can read my work at StoneAgeGamer.com and in the pages of Nintendo Force magazine. Karen, where can people find you?
They can find me at STM Stitches on Facebook, Instagram, Etsy, and Blue Sky, but no longer on TikTok. Aww.
Angie, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at A4Not, and I'm back on Twitch, baby. So check me out, Laracraft13.
And Evan, where can people find you?
Hey, me, Evan John 713 at Blue Sky. That's right, me. This guy.
No, I'm on Blue Sky too, but I don't know what my name is.
I had to look it up. That's why I said it as long as I did.
You can definitely find Stone Age Gamer on Blue Sky, and it's just at Stone Age Gamer. You don't have to do a little .blue sky stuff in it, because there's a way to get around that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, if you need to know more about the shows we discussed tonight or what we'll be watching in the future, have a look at our show notes. If you have any other questions at all, we can always be reached at mail@geekade.com. Just include the words "this week's episode" in the subject line so we know who you're trying to reach. This show is available anywhere fine podcasts are sold, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And wherever you decide to listen, please like, comment, subscribe, and leave reviews, because any and all feedback is welcome and appreciated. Again, as always, keep your eyes on Geekade for more fresh original content. And yes, if anyone is curious, I am still watching Dragon Ball Daima, and it is very good. I just didn't have anything super exciting to say about it this week, because I think I'm like 2 weeks behind. But it's very good. Anyway, Evan, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate the update. It is your turn for homework, sir. What do you got?
It is indeed, and I'm probably not going to surprise too many folks with this one, but I'm very curious what you guys would think of Skeleton Crew.
Oh.
It just wrapped up. I would like you very much to watch the season, just because I'm very curious how you'll feel about the way it concluded. This is... I have a lot of good feelings about this one. It is a very interesting show. You do not need to know anything about Star Wars other than what Star Wars is, and like the word Jedi and lightsaber. Like that's the only prerequisite knowledge, which is interesting to me because most of the time Star Wars is very self-referential. There are no cameos from established characters that are going to make you go, "Oh, I know that guy." Except maybe one of the pirates might have shown up in Ahsoka, I think, at one point. But other than that, it has absolutely no bearing on the story. There's nothing like that. It's entirely self-contained, other than the fact that it takes place in the Star Wars universe. It's the Goonies in space. There's a pirate robot. It's magnificent.
Is it only 6 episodes?
Yeah, I think so. It's pretty short.
8 episodes.
8 episodes. Yeah,
okay.
ties itself up. It's self-contained.
Okay.
It could have a follow-up season, maybe, but they didn't leave like a whole lot of strands floating around, being like, "Oh no, they'll never." This is not the Acolyte. It's a unique show, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm very curious if you guys will too.
All right,
I'm down.
We will give it its due time. I'm missing an episode or two, so I gotta just make sure that's there. All right, very good, Chris. Thank you so much. We will watch Skeleton Crew season 1. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining us this week, this month, just joining us in general. From all of us here at this week's episode, I'm Evan.
I'm Angie.
I'm Karen.
Mistake.
Good night.
And this concludes our broadcast day.